Hello, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, the KelvTV. I want to say thank you to everybody who has stayed tuned, subscribed, liked, shared. Yeah, and also everybody who has found time to come and listen to my content on this channel. Today's topic is very informative, very educative, and very historical. Today, I decided to dive into something that most of us think about, but I think it's not most of us who get a chance to talk about it. So today I decided to venture into a topic that is very crucial. I think most of us have ever thought about it. Maybe everybody has a different idea about it. Today we are going to discuss about, I think it's more of a question. What if Africa was never colonized? I think it's more of a question because we are colonized already. So, have you ever imagined a world where Africa was never colonized? No European powers claiming lands, no imposed borders, no exploitation of people and resources. How different would how different would that world look today? Let's dive into the alternate history and explore what Africa could have been. So Africa before colonization was already powerful. We had empires, we had kingdoms, we had trade routes trade routes connecting to places where gold were mined, knowledge, culture, innovations were flowing. But the Europeans arrived, and the continent was divided, exploited, and reshaped forever. So what if this never happened? Uh, I think things would have taken a very different route. So yeah, if you imagine a continent untouched by foreign powers, no European colonizers, no imported religion, before that Africa was rich, diverse, powerful, with its own spiritual system, kingdoms, and knowledge. If we travel back in time and explore Africa that the world never saw, I think we find out that Africa was home to vast civilization. There were kingdoms such as Kush in the Nile Valley, Great Zimbabwe, a great center of trade and architecture, the Mali Empire, home of Timbuktu, the legendary universities. We had the Bagandas, we had the Maasais, we had a lot of communities. Cities thrived, knowledge was preserved, culture and governance evolved naturally without outside interference. Trade routes connected gold, salt, ivory, and ideas across the continent and beyond. So before Christianity, Islam, or any other foreign religion, Africa had its own spiritual system. And people believed in things like ancestral worship, that is honoring the wisdom of those who came before us, nature and spirits, or nature spirits like rivers, mountain, trees. These were sacred things. Cosmic cycles, astronomy, and the stars guided agriculture and rituals. Religion was local and connected to life, land, and community, not imposed by outsiders. If we look at the culture, technology, and the society, Africa had advanced in agriculture and in architecture. Cities were designed around rivers and trade hubs. Governance varied. There were council of elders, there were kings and queens with organized armies, system of justice and trade laws. Music, storytelling, drumming, and oral history were the main way of knowledge passing, a rich culture full of wisdom and beauty. So imagine if Africa was not to lose its wealth to colonizers, if knowledge was to stay within local communities, spirituality shaping society naturally, borders forming organically, not by European maps, Africa would have evolved on its own terms, influencing science, art, trade global, long before the modern world. Uh, Back then, uh, people I used to think like, did we betray our gods? If we had our own gods and then Christianity popped up and we changed the way of life. If the European would have not come, maybe probably would not have Christianity. If they would have not discovered us, as they say, we would not have Christianity. I once read a book called I'll Marry When I Want by Gugi wa Thiong'o some years back, and I think it's one of the best plays I've read. It exposes neocolonialism, shows how Christianity and education were used as tools of control, and also defends African culture, land, and dignity. The play was so powerful that Gugi wa Thiong'o was detained without a trial by the Kenyan government, and the theater where the play was performed was shut down forever. My main characters in this book who I wanted to discuss are only two, Kigunda and Wageshi. These are two couples, two young people who have just fallen in love, and they are trying to start a life. But the community is changing. People are not going the old way of life. We have white people who are here settling, and they are showing uh, the original people of Kikuyu land a new way of life. They are told you cannot be respected unless you're baptized. Your daughter can get married unless they are Christians, because you need to do a wedding at a church. You are also told your children don't go to school because school is for the white and education is for the white if you're not Christian. I remember that one great quote: they took our land, they gave us the Bible, and told us not to be and told us to be grateful. People also used to borrow culture among themselves. African were borrowing cultures amongst themselves. People would borrow agriculture, means of agriculture, architecture. People would, the way of building was different across different communities. Long distance intermarriages would also bring new ideas to new communities. I think even medicine, people would exchange ideas on which plants to use for which purpose of healing. So I think, yeah, African had a way of life, had a way of surviving, because I think that's all about here on Earth. Earth only provides life, so you just live. Africa, if Europeans would have not have colonized us, I think we still be alive, and we still have found our own way of living, which everybody would have adapted to. I also took time to look at the disadvantages if the Europeans would colonize us. And definitely there are some strong factors and strong points where if these Europeans would have not colonized us, we would have faced a lot of uh, backwardness, I can say, according to the modern world. Today, if that's how things would have been, we would be very slow in global technology, industrial machinery. I think we would be very backward there. Printing technology, I think that is something that was very new to the Africans. We used to pass our knowledge through oral means, though writing was discovered in Africa back then, times of Mesopotamia and Egyptians. Also, the modern medicine, we would have access to that, though we had our own herbs of curing diseases, but I think some of them did not really work perfectly compared to most of the modern medicine. So I generally say a world without European conduct would not be perfect. Africa would still face challenges, conflicts, slow developments. But the difference is Africa would face these challenges on its own terms, not under domination. So yeah, that's my view on this topic. I would really like to hear from you. What's your point of view? How have you thought about it? How what's your different point on this? Please share under the comment section. Also join the community. And also please share this content, subscribe and like. Thank you for your time.